how can someone work with you?
Yes. That's the perennial question, right? They were all
Yeah.
out here trying to do and make a difference, but how do they get in touch? How do they work with us? So the Plager Group, I'd say the primary way is to reach out to me either via LinkedIn, via the website, theplagergroup.com. There's the contact section. They can find time and really so that I can understand what are the needs and what are the challenges they're facing, and then really look to see how can we partner with them to help them achieve the results they're looking for. So if it's one-on-one executive coaching, what's the timing? What are the challenges that individual is facing? What are the opportunities they're facing? So really trying to understand if it's a team, where's the team? What's going on? If it's an organization that needs strategic planning, or there's just some work going on at the organizational leadership level. So let's start with a conversation. I try to get some data and insight and then really figure out how to partner and support.
Why would someone want to work with you and your team, Debbie? Like, why do you think that's necessary or not necessary?
Yeah, hopefully hopefully I'm doing something that's adding value, right? So I think there's a couple of ways I'll answer that. And I'll start with at the heart of where the Plager Group, we're focused on working with leadership teams. Why it's a business necessity. I just think about the world around us today. I think about the complexities that business teams are faced with, particularly senior teams, right? We see what's happening in the geopolitical world. We see what's happening with interest rates. We see what's happening with consumer confidence and demands. And if you think about as a company, how are you reaching your customers? Are you doing it as effectively and efficiently as possible? Do you need to get product out the door faster? Do you need to double in revenue? What does that mean for the size of your organization? You're not going to double the size of your organization, but how do you grow in a way that allows you to grow more profitably, right? These types of critical challenges and questions are hitting businesses faster and faster. And so my work with leadership teams is helping them get clear on what is the priority. What's the one or two business goals that really they need to focus on, and they need to not just do, but do really, really well, because we're talking about this is what's keeping their business going. So I help work with teams and get clarity on that, and then help them achieve that, hold them accountable on how they're achieving that, and then really also pay attention and help them build the muscles so that they can work more productively and effectively together, so that they can face challenges together. So when you think about a senior team of a $200 million organization, let's say, I was working with a senior team and they knew they had to grow to 400 million over 5 years. It wasn't just how do they get there? There are many, as I like to say, many roads to Rome, but where do they think their success is? Helping them align on their strategy, and then helping them say, how are they working today? And where are they getting in their own way? And what's working for them, and how do we double down? So it's not just the what they need to focus on, but the how they need to do that. To me, this is not a luxury. This is a necessity. The demands of senior teams is more. The demands of our stakeholders are more. And so you need that team operating on all cylinders. And that's what I do at the Plager Group.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
What would you say that, um, from what you have said, when would be a good time for a company or a team to have you talking about maybe working with you or maybe considering working with you?
Yeah, it's a great question, Harry, because I think it depends. And I hate to say it depends, but there's usually certain times of the year or certain times in the strategic planning life cycle where it makes sense. So it could be they're executing a plan, they already know what their goals are, but maybe they run into challenges and the CEO or there's another member of the senior team's like, this is a lot harder than it needs to be. We're not doing this as effectively. Stress levels are higher than they need to be. That's usually an indication, something's going on and they are getting in their own way. So that could be a reason and when it's time to work out. It also is, we're looking to grow to the next phase and we're realizing, so maybe they're getting funding elsewhere and they're $100 million company And I know that leading a $100 million company is very different than leading a $500 million company. You can't wait to grow your leadership capabilities until you're 400 million. You've got to grow while the business is growing. So if you've got a growth plan in place, that's a great time to connect with us and say, okay, not only again, how are we going to get there, but are we clear on roles? Are we clear on how we're making decisions? Are we utilizing the best of what the leadership team is bringing? Is our organization structured in the right way? So sometimes when you've got dramatic change coming or you've got aggressive goals coming, that's another good time. Let me give you 2 more examples. You may have recently been acquired or gone through a merger. You now have basically a new team. You have some of the old and some of the new, but together you're really a new we. How do we create this we? How do we better understand and trust each other? And how are we, this new we, aligned on where we want to go and how we want to work? So again, there's an outside event that may have precipitated why it's a good time to work with me. So I guess to recap, right, it could be we've got to grow and we're recognizing that we don't have the skills or the capabilities of leading in the future state, or maybe we know what worked for us at this size is not going to work with us at that size. So that's a good time. Outside influences like merger acquisition, or it's just right. A team is they're just not humming the way that they know that they should. They've got really exceptional talent on the team and they're acting more individually than as a team. I guess one more I'd put in there is sometimes it's when there's a new leader, right? So someone, I'm working with one client group where the CEO retired. And so the president takes over. The president is now in that chair. And so it's a good time to reconnect and recreate what that team is.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that with our audience, Debbie. I have one last question for you before we end today's segment. When it comes to seeing the Plager Group in the future, where do you think or where do you see your vision going in the future?
Yeah, I love that question. And I'm not surprised to get it from Vision Pros, right? So for me, right, I'm just finishing up 2 years of being an entrepreneur. So I'm about to start year 3, which I know is a pivotal milestone. So where do I see myself, let's say a few years from now? First of all, I'm working with more senior teams. The Plager Group is working with more senior teams. And some of them could be just me. Some of them I'm working with other phenomenal consultants out there and coaches out there. So depending on the size of the team. So we're known and trusted in the space that depending on what business challenge or opportunity is in front, they know that we have got their backs, that we've got the right capabilities, and we've got great results. So that's 1. 2 is we're known as an organization that gives back. So whether it's giving back to, in my case, I love to give back to different strategic HR organizations that's building the next generation of talent. I teach. I work with other people who teach. So it's how are we, like you described your company going and volunteering. One of the things I'm really looking at is, is the Plager Group, do we want to be a B Corp or how are we thinking about that? But giving back and making the world a better place is a really critical component of what we do. And so that answer will be known in a few years. And whether we're a B Corp or not, just understanding how we're able to give our gifts and connect the gifts of people we know with others to make a difference will be well on our way.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.